Hello everyone. In today's video, we're going to go over numerical calculations, tables, and invisible logic, specifically how the word adding can be used in combination with invisible logic to create a table with the following result, which is something where you have a cost or expense, for example, in one column. You have the total cost for that, and then you have some division of this number here. So in this case, this is dividing 200 by 3, but you could have this be, divided by 6 or whatever else. But having that particular third column automatically divided by, using a clever combination of the word add-ins numerical calculation function as well as invisible logic on the back end. So in this particular scenario, we have a very simple workflow where we have a single page with a single question where this is a multi-select question, and you can have this be single select or whatever else, drop down or whatever else. But in this particular case, I just have a multi-select where people can choose from Z, H, or A. Now, it doesn't really matter. I was just testing to see if this was going to be rearranged or to demonstrate that they can be arranged in your own way and it's not going to be alphabetical instead or rearranged in any way because of the way that this is set up. So I have that set up, and then the only thing I needed to do on the back end here is to associate a value with each of those choices. So in this particular case, I created an invisible logic page. So you just say new page, choose invisible logic from the advanced section here. And then you're just going to go through and assign a value. So in my case, I have from the three questions, the three choices from this question, I have Z, H, and A. So I want to assign a value that's a number. This is important here. That is the cost of Z, whatever that might be. And I'm going to make that 100. So when you say add, you're going to say type number and then just type in your number. Number here is cost of H. So that's going to be the second option, which is going to be, in this case, $200. And then the number of cost of A is going to be, let's say, 300. And then what we're going to do is we're going to have one more, and that's going to be whatever the number is that you would like to divide that total number by for this third column's calculation. So in this case, let's say I wanted to divide it by 3 because I'm breaking this up into 3 months, for example. Then I'm going to put the number, give it a variable name, and then associate that with whatever number I've chosen here. So what we're doing in the actual document itself here is we're actually creating individual tables. And that makes it to where it's easier to pull one out of the middle, for example, if H is not chosen. So what you'll do is you'd say insert and then you'd say table, choose 3. In my case, I wanted to make sure that the option for automatically resize to fit contents is unchecked so that when I run this, they're all going to have the same lines exactly where they are in this particular example. So let's say I have a choice that's something like, let's do Z again. So in my case, let's put Z. Now in Z, for this section here, all I need to do is insert the invisible logic variable that I created, something like cost of Z, for example. So I select my workflow here. In my case, it's this one. And I'm just going to look for the simple variable called cost of Z. I'm just going to format this as currency, so it comes out with a $sign and formatted with 2 decimal places after a period. So it's going to transform this cost of Z number 100 into a currency. The next part of this comes into play with this numerical calculation piece. So here we're going to say format this as money, and then we're going to say for this one it's going to be cost of Z, and we're going to just divide that by the 3 months or whatever number you've chosen. If that's 6 months or something else, you can just do that here and say insert calculation. So that's going to transform the cost of Z divided by 3 months into a currency format. And the final piece here, if you want this to show or hide depending on the selections of the person for the multi-select or whatever other type of question you've had there, you can just drag over this particular table, say show paragraph 1, and then say, for example, show this if question 1 is, and then you can say Z. So in my case, I said, if question 1 is Z, and then you're just going to say insert condition. So if you choose this particular option, if if you're trying to do it this way, you really want to make sure that you use show paragraph 1 rather than show phrase 1, because it's going to make it to where these push flush up next to each other, and you do want to remove those spaces around so the table looks well formatted on output. So what this will look like when you run this actual workflow here is the end user will run through this question where they choose whichever ones they want. You say continue, and then in my case, there was just a new page because I had not refreshed yet. But in this case, I'm going to see this output of just Z and A and not H because that wasn't selected. The table's rows are flush against each other, and these are both formatted in this nice currency format. And this number is, in my case, divided by, 100 divided by 3, and then 300 divided by 3. And that's all done automatically for you on output. So the next stage of this, for me personally, I would like to explore is the best and most efficient way to have these numbers added up at the end, especially considering that they are separated tables. So it makes some options a little bit harder, but I'm going to be playing with that and seeing how I can get that to work seamlessly. So I hope this is useful, and I'll see you in the next video.